watchers, welcome to Perth WAtch, your horology channel broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Today I have a piece courtesy of Discovery Mall Japan, or Discovery Japan. They reached out and initiated this collaboration, so thank you to them for making this piece available. I have here something I'm quite excited about actually to receive. It is a GA-2100 model from CASIO's G-Shock range, a range that has proven to be extremely popular. It comes in this simple little box, so without further ado guys, let's flip the camera around and take a closer look at what's in here. Alright guys, so here we have the box on the table. I'll get back to this guy in a little while. So, you know, one of the fairly standard G-Shock cases, nothing special, just cardboard, but pretty darn spinnable, at least a 4 out of 5. A little bit of foam here, you don't want your G-Shock to get hurt, right? Manual. I don't really bother opening these. I think you can find them online, so I don't tend to refer to them actually, to be honest. And then the watch inside with a little tag which really tells you what the most special or unique feature of this watch is, or at least the new feature of this range. So guys, let's flip it open and show you these pieces closer in detail. This is, guys, the CASIO G-Shock GA-2110SU or 2110SU. In this case, it is the colorway 9A. So it is this bright yellow with black resin and yellow highlights, which really reminds me of this guy. This is why this guy is here. This is a Bumblebee figure, Classics Deluxe 2006 Bumblebee. But you know, you can pretty much get any Bumblebee character, Transformer, one of the most famous guys, and it will have yellow and black colorway. Of course, it takes it from the namesake insect, Bumblebee, yellow and black stripes. This is what I'm gonna nickname this, the CasiOak Bumblebee. So just a little bit about the GA-2100 range, right? Originally, these came out in 2019. They were one of the early pieces from CASIO G-Shock, which featured the carbon core guard, which is really carbon fiber, which has been flecked and molded into the resin protection of the case, which allows it to be stronger at a thinner construction and allowing them to make this watch, which is what I understand to be the thinnest G-Shock ever. So the original 2019 ones had single resin color. This is a 2020 street utility release, which is where the SU comes from. The special thing about this, so they tell me, is that this is a dual layer molded resin. So there is yellow here and this is black resin. So two different colors. This isn't paint on the resin. It is actually two separate resin colors that has been molded to give this cool color effect. So that's what they're going for anyway. Right, okay, so the price of this is 110 USD. At least this is what I think the MSRP is. Let me know if I'm wrong. That's the information I can find. And that's really what they, I think, tended to go for. But some of the links I found online, they have this, you know, going for over that price. So let me know what you think this actually should be selling for. I'm not 100% sure. As far as I can tell, MSRP of $110. Right, talking about the case first. So this is a 45mm width case. So between my two forefingers there is 45mm wide. The resin bezel itself, so the bezel width right between my thumbs here is 41mm. And the overall thickness, so it is also, I want to say, 41mm there. It is actually the same dimension there. It's not like thicker or wider one way. The overall thickness or thinness is 11.8mm, which again, I understand to be the thinnest G-Shock ever, and it is pretty darn thin for a G-Shock. Lug to lug width, if I kind of pick these points between my thumbs, is 48.5mm, and overall weight, you know, it is a G-Shock resin construction, 51 grams, very, very easy to forget it's on your wrist. Steel screw construction, like almost all G-Shocks that you've ever seen. But you know, still it's got that G-Shock 200-meter standard water resistant rating for this construction. Shock resistance, as I say, with that new carbon core guard, which you can see featured there right at the middle of the case back. They tell you that's what it has. The dial, so okay, moving on to the dial now, matte black with a date subdial and a negative LCD display in that kind of, I guess polygonal cutout there at, between the 4 and 6 o'clock position. Fairly simple, but I like how they've kept this very simple, really only that single yellow highlight, the G-Shock word there, in keeping with the rest of this Bumblebee black and yellow theme. The hands are, I guess, pretty simple shape, right? Kind of just simple picket hands, and the loom is really only on the hands only, unfortunately. There's no loom anywhere else on this watch. None of the indices actually have loom, but it does have dual LED lights, so it does have a light that comes out approximately at the 4:30 position, as well as a backlight for the LCD display, and loom shots, of course, right here for you guys to see how it has glown in the dark for me. Above the dial is a simple mineral glass, right? At this price range, you're not going to get sapphire in the G-Shock, and you're getting the standard mineral glass on this particular G-Shock. No surprise there at all. Okay, now talking about this movement. So this is Quartz Multifunction Module 5611, so 5611. It does have the hand shift feature, so meaning you can press buttons, or when you go into setting, it will kind of shift the hands out of the way. In this case, it is actually not in the way, so I don't think I can actually activate to show that to you here. But it does move out of the way of the screen when you are setting it if you need it. The modes are pretty simple, so just going through it, it's got world time with 48 different cities, including UTC, right? Pretty standard for G-Shocks, or a lot of these G-Shocks with a world time mode. It does have a stopwatch, which in this case is a 1/100-second 24-hour stopwatch with split measure. Nothing too surprising, so let's just show it to you guys. Start. Right, I think that's split. Right, stop and reset. Nothing more surprising than that. And then it's got a timer. In this case, better than the Mudmaster. It does have a 24-hour countdown timer, where the Mudmaster only has 60 minutes. Many models have 60 minutes, for example. It does have 5 daily alarms and a time signal feature. So let's just let you hear it. Okay, nothing too special, nothing too unusual there. That's a fairly standard Casio sounding alarm there. Overall battery life is estimated to be 3 years on the single battery that this comes in. Moving on to the band then. So, nothing, again, nothing too, nothing much to write home about it, except for the color, really. Just a simple resin band, but, that's what Casio gives you, right, with a simple steel, hardware here. The only thing of difference, of highlight, and the first I've seen in a Casio, is actually the quick release bars, which you can see there. Nice added feature that they've given with this range. And that's really it, guys. Let's just slap it on the wrist for a wrist shot for you guys now. And there it is, guys. The CasiOak Bumblebee, so the GA-2110SU-9A on my 17 centimeter wrist. So remember, just over 48 millimeters lug to lug, only 11.8 thick, 45 millimeter width. That's how it looks like. And as far as G-Shock goes, this is very conservative, I have to say. Apart from the color, size-wise, this is the most conservative G-Shock, in this analog type of face that I've seen. You can get smaller square ones, but they do tend to be thicker. This is, really, in the scheme of things, quite demure. What have I enjoyed about this? Look, I think at around $100 for this G-Shock range, you're not going to get anything special about functionality, or features, right? The module is really pretty standard, but here we're given the carbon core guard, which gives us the thinnest G-Shock ever. And this is really, I think, what drives the popularity of the GA-2100 models so far. Really, this technology that has given us this profile here. For many fans, it is also very much about the design and the aesthetics, right? The style, the colorways that they give you. And this is certainly something that really quite stands out, which is why I chose this colorway. It's a pretty good looking analog G-Shock. I have to say that, the simple, neat, pretty attractive dial here. you know, fairly balanced layout, I want to say, with the hands. The hands could be slightly longer, maybe, but you know, the indices and hands and the subdial really balance each other pretty well. You know, the LCD is out of the way. It's pretty discreet. It doesn't really, you know, kind of, you know, act as a distractor. It really just serves a quiet function, which is really I quite like. And it's got a very nice, great looking contrast on this octagonal bezel because it's got that dual molded colorway, you know, black and yellow, very high contrast here, which I like. You know, I really quite enjoy what they've done with their dual molded, you know, bezel models. You know, there's a few of them now, and they're all denoted by the 2110 rather than the 2100 numbering. That's really what it seems to denote here. Plus, of course, you're getting all the usual G-Shock toughness. You're getting 200 meter resistance to water, and you're getting fall survivability from 10 meters, and so on and so forth. You know, just a watch that would likely keep going even if I've passed out, right? If I'm going to push this to its limits. What are the weaknesses? Well, like I say, I think maybe the hands could be slightly more pronounced, right? They could have made this a bit easier to read the time at a glance. Maybe that hour hand could be slightly fatter, a la Mudmaster style. And I think this could definitely do with a bit more lume, right? Just lume on the hands. Yeah, I think they could have just done the indices as well, at least just a pip on the periphery. That would have lifted this whole thing. Yes, you do have a light, but hey, it's good to be able to have lume to tell the time in the dark. And that's really all I have to say. Overall, a watch I have enjoyed and liked very much, and I really can understand why it has been such a popular and successful range. Okay guys, that's all I have to say about this model, this watch. Let's flip it around now for the wrap up. So there you go guys, my review of the CASIO GA-2100 model. In this case, it's actually a 2110 model, being the dual layer bezel. Let me know what you think about this range, this particular watch, and the 2100 range in general, because you know it really has been raved on by many Casio fans. The thinnest G-Shock so far that they have made, thanks to that carbon core guard technology. So a lot of good things to like about it, in a really quite value-packed package at the price that they are asking for. You know, usually under $100 that this were going for, at least at some times, you know, online that you could find. So really look forward to hearing your thoughts about this. Let me know what you think below. Guys, if you enjoy my videos, do consider subscribing. New content every week, always aiming to be objective and unbiased about all things horology. Thank you again for sticking with me, and as always, I'll catch you guys again next time.